Johnson within this Motivational Moments with life coach and motivational speaker Leron Barnes. This is where we give you some things to consider as well as some tips, tools, and strategies to move you closer to your goals in the coming week. Leron, how you doing today, bro?
Listen, I'm doing amazingly well, man. Every day is a great day in my world and my life, brother. How about yourself, man?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I'm excited about this conversation. This week, we're going to be discussing the difference between patience and procrastination and how getting this wrong can actually be a dream killer for you. And so we'll jump right into it. Leron, we know that building a business or creating the life that you want doesn't happen overnight. So patience is a requirement. We completely understand that. But have you ever had a client where their patience seemed a little more like procrastination once you kind of dug into things?
Absolutely. I say that here's the thing about it. Procrastination and patience are in two different lanes. They're two different things. And I think sometimes what happens is people, or at least some of my clients have, got confused what procrastination and patience is. See, procrastination is driven by fear. Patience is driven by hope. I found that a lot of times what happens with my clients is that there's fears of inability in them. They say they know but what to do, or that they have it, but they really don't know. They understand. See, to know is to do, to understand is to comprehend. A lot of my clients, they understand or comprehend what it is, but to know is to do. So we got to understand that procrastination is driven by fear of work. I've had that issue, Andrew. If I'm honest, I was fearful of work. I was lazy. I didn't want to get up to do what I had to do, even though I knew to do it. I just didn't. I wanted to sit down and hope for it to come. But I really didn't do what I needed to do. But hope is driven by faith. Hope says, I'm going to work while I wait. Hope is saying that I'm going to work in the process of. But that's what a lot of my clients deal with, is they deal with procrastination from the standpoint of fear. And that's fear in many different ways, and it comes in many different forms.
I get that. So you mentioned something. Procrastination comes from fear, while patience comes from hope. One thing that a lot of people, say is that, hey, I'm praying on this and I'm waiting, right? Mm-hmm. And although that's something that we should do, can you explain the difference between the pray and wait mentality versus an active prayer lifestyle?
That absolutely. You said pray and wait versus the pray of lifestyle. Here it goes. When we pray, there's a misunderstanding of what praying and waiting is. Praying and waiting is praying and moving. Let me say that again. Praying and waiting is praying and moving. Most people believe that they're praying without works, or they're having faith without works. When we pray and we don't do nothing, that's faith without works, and we know that is dead. There's no results going to come from that. There's nothing that's going to be erected from having faith without works. But prayer and waiting, or being patient, is saying, I'm praying and I'm working, meaning that I'm trusting that what I'm doing is going to work out for me. At the end of the day, I don't know the future minute by minute. I have a whole vision of what it is that I'm pursuing, but at the same time, I'm going to be working. I'm going to be actively moving, knowing that my faith without works is dead. Can I be honest with you, Andrew?
Please do.
I used to be a person who had faith without works. Here's the most tormenting thing that I believe entrepreneurs or people in general, or at least I face. When you know you're gifted, and you know you're skilled, and you know you have all the tools, but you can't get yourself up to move, that's the most detrimental feeling to feel. Mm-hmm. Because you know what your capability is, but you're not playing up into its potential. We can't have faith without works. We can't say we're waiting but not working. Because watch this. Patience is waiting while working. Procrastination is waiting while waiting. I want to say that again real quick, Andrew, if you don't mind. Patience is waiting while working. Procrastination is waiting while waiting. You're just waiting and no expected end is coming for you.
That's powerful. That's powerful. That's a powerful way of looking at that. And that's something that I believe that we all struggle with. And you hit on something that's really big, and I think it affects a lot of people. A lot of us know exactly what to do. We may not know every little piece of the puzzle, but we're in the information age. And so at the end of the day, almost everything that you need is a Google click away. But yet and still, we have some of the most talented people, some of the greatest minds have their dreams and their hopes locked in their head, and they aren't able to move forward and do the things that are needed to be done. And that is a tormented place to be, to know that you're capable, to know that you have the charisma, you got the attitude, you got the conversation and all of that, but you just can't move yourself to action. And like you said, a lot of people fall back on that, hey, I'm praying and I'm waiting. Well, really at the end of the day, they're just waiting to be waiting. And so, yeah, definitely. And it's all about the mindset. It's a mind game, you know. One thing that I really wanted to ask you, and we talk about this a little bit, you know, offline, but how can a person be, let me make sure I say this right. How can a person be highly active physically? Because your mind and your body are connected. Your body doesn't do anything without the mind telling you to. So how can you be highly active physically, which is what you have to do to reach any level of success, but still be patient mentally, meaning that you don't get frustrated in your action when it doesn't produce immediate results?
Absolutely. I believe that understanding that as long as I'm working, I'm moving. Let me say that again. And it's only when I stop working is when I stop moving. As long as I'm working, I'm moving. And it's only when I stop moving or stop working, I stop moving. That's the thing about it. The end result will be the end result based on our consistent action. And as long as we're working and we're moving, it's only when we stop working, we stop moving. I had to say that because there's an understanding that has to be understood. That a lot of times we get focused on the immediate result, what's going on now. We're looking for our pie in the sky now. I want my cake and I want to eat it now. We're looking for a right now result. You hear what I'm saying? But no, 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 no. It's in your consistent work ethic. I got a quote that says, consistency or persistency is the key that unlocks doors to opportunity. There's an opportunity in your consistency, the opportunity to be successful, the opportunity to have your dreams come true, the opportunity to manifest the life that you desire, the life that we desire. But here's the thing about it. You got to work. You got to be consistent. You got to be patient. Patient is working while waiting.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I'll ask you this. They say that comfort is one thing that kills progress. And when you just look at civilization and how things have come about and have developed, it's all been out of discomfort. And so if you take some of the smallest things like air conditioning in our homes, no one would have had the ingenuity or put forth the work ethic to create air conditioned homes if they weren't so doggone hot in the first place. So there was a level of discomfort that sparked the ingenuity, which also sparked the drive to move forward. And so why is it that you feel that once we get comfortable that we stop progressing? And is there any type of way that while we're in pursuit of our goals, we can remain comfortable, or is that something that just isn't realistic?
First of all, I got to say that that's a very good question. I would say remaining comfort in the pursuit of our goals or our dreams is unrealistic. Here's the thing about it. We got to understand that when we were created, God created us with pursuit. That which is in you is a pursuit for something greater. There always will be something that we want. And that's because of what God has put in you. It's something that drives you, that says, I have to have this. And we will never ultimately be comfortable if we're not pursuing. because that is our human mechanism. That was instilled in each and every last one of us when we were created to drive for something greater. And that greater is our purpose. We are in pursuit of purpose. Life is a journey of self-discovery. Discovering ourselves is discovering purpose, what we are here to do. And we feel unsettled. We feel our worst really when we get comfortable. Because when we get comfortable, we get lazy and we stop pursuing.
Yeah, I've had that feeling before too, because you're uncomfortable when you're in high pursuit, right? You're waking up early, you're staying up late. There's times that you want to just hang out with your friends or relax or just do anything other than the work that you need to be doing. And that feels bad. It's a negative feeling that comes over you, kind of like, man, I want to do something else, right? But the feeling that comes when you are failing and you know that it's your own fault because of inactivity is far worse. It's far worse. And that's the state that a lot of people are in. Here at Elevating Men, one of the things that we really talk about is how men need to be builders, right? When it comes to creating a family, pursuing a wife, having children, we have to build a foundation, and that takes work. And when you don't have that foundation built, you notice that everything starts to crumble around you, and you're 100% responsible. And so when we look at some of the depression that men feel, some of the alcoholism, some of the statistics that we look at that say men are more likely to have a heart attack or a stroke than a woman, more likely to commit suicide. All of these negative things come from not building a solid foundation, which is a side effect of not having a strong work ethic. One of the systems that we teach our young men is the SWAG system. So we teach them, it's an acronym for systems, because you have to have some sort of system that you work on daily to be effective, right? You also have to have work ethic. That's what the W is for.
Come on.
The A is your appearance, how you carry yourself, how you interact with others. And then the G is for growth, right? You always have to be in pursuit, just like Leron said. And so that's what we try to teach our young men here at Elevating Men. But it's also one of the biggest flaws in men that we see who are battling with depression and a lot of mental health issues. It's a really tough place to be. And so as a life coach, like, what are some tools that you can provide to someone to help them get on track? If they're off track right now and they're feeling like, hey, I can't get my schedule together, I really don't feel motivated to do the things, I'm stuck in procrastination.
Yeah.
How can they get out of that?
Well, here it goes. Here's the first thing. If we're honest, we have to do a evaluation. And we have to see if this is something we really want to do. Because I've talked to a few of my clients, when I coach a few of my clients, and we've discovered that some things that they've been in pursuit of for a long time, they didn't want to do anymore. They were just gifted, talented, skilled, but ultimately their heart wasn't there anymore. So we want to make sure that this is something that's really bringing fulfillment to our lives. That's the first thing we must do. We got to make a decision. As we make that decision and say, this is what I want to do, we have to make sure that our why is great enough. Here's the thing about it. Some of us don't have a strong enough why. I remember working in Primerica, Andrew, and my why was because of the money. But I realized that the money is not really what drove me. My passion was. And that's why I had to transition into my passion and stop focusing on the money, because I was seeing myself as being a millionaire there. So we got to make a decision and say, this is what I want. Reevaluate our internal selves and make sure this is it. And then after we do that, here's the thing. We got to just go ahead and take action. We stuck in procrastination. Procrastination is just an emotional vibration that we feel in our body. It's a rejecting emotional vibration that internally we seek to run from. And the way we run from it is by not doing what we know to do. Procrastination stifles us. It stops us and keeps us from doing what we need to do. So we got to identify, which is what I'm saying to you, what is it that's keeping us from procrastinating? What is it that we internally feel? Because procrastination, again, is rooted in fear. There's something that we are saying to ourselves inside of our mind that is keeping us from doing it. Well, I don't really want to do this right now. Work. I'm tired. I got other things to do. Other things are more important than this right now. Because it's not priority. You have to prioritize what you say you want to do. You got to prioritize it. The reason why most of us don't go after what we say because it's not priority. The reason why we're stuck in procrastination because it's not priority. So prioritize. Make sure that it's something that you really want to do, and then take action.
You know, we've been talking about fear a little bit, and it brings something to mind. You know, a lot of times when we say that a person is afraid and that's why they're not moving, we always attribute it to a fear of failure. But I also believe that another thing, and I believe I kind of heard it between the lines of what you said, there's also that fear of success for some people. And so if at the beginning you're already saying, well, wait a minute, I don't want to spend this much time, or I don't want to do all of these different things. Well, what if I become more successful? What if I actually do the things that I say I'm going to do, the things that I have written down, the things that I've dreamed about? With more success comes more responsibility.
Come on.
Right. And so if I had to wake up at 7, now I got to wake up at 5. Right. If I was going to bed at midnight, now I'm up until 2. And so can you speak a little bit to the difference between fear of failure versus some people not realizing that their actual fear is the fear of success?
Andrew, when I say that I didn't understand that at one point in my life, that just as much as there is a fear of failure, there's a fear of success. I didn't understand that until I was the candidate. I was scared and had fear of success. It was like, I can't believe it. But see, listen what I just said. I can't believe it. Those words out of my mouth, I can't believe it. I didn't feel that I was worthy of it. I knew that I had the capability. I know that I had the skills and the gifts, but I said, this is too much. And I knew that it was going to require, as you said, more work. That again comes back to, I had a fear of working, and some of us got to have a fear of working. We know that if we do this, yeah, we're going to get money. Yeah, we're going to be successful, but it's going to be so much to manage it. That's where the fear of success comes in, because we're afraid that we're not going to be able to manage it. Did y'all hear that? The fear of success comes in because we don't feel that we're going to be able to manage the success we're given. Because how does it go? With great power comes great responsibilities. With great success comes great responsibilities. So therefore, we're fearful of it. Once again, that's what it was with me. I felt that if I have this, I'm going to have to manage my time better. I'm not there yet. I can't manage my time right now. So the image that I had of myself was in the now. And since I couldn't handle it now, it would stop me from getting to it later because I couldn't get out of that mindset.
That's a tough one. And another one, when we were kind of talking about the tips and tools that are needed to reach a different level of success, one thing that I feel is celebrating the small wins, right? So that you can get a little more fuel in your tank to kind of keep going. One thing that I believe that we do a lot of times is we have our big overarching goal and we measure every single action based off of the end goal versus just that individual step. And so when you look at this big elephant that you're trying to eat and you just took a little fork off of it, you're like, I really didn't do anything, you know. Or if you look at your building this large brick building and you've laid one stone, you're like, man, I got a long way to go. And so you can be discouraged. So can you speak a little bit about the small wins and how important they are to fuel you into the next step?
No, man, I'm telling you, listen to this. You're saying some things here, Andrew. I mean, I hope this is helping you all out here because this is some good stuff. It's crazy because, wow, that's a powerful question, man. I have a lot to say on that, really. But then I just lost my train of thought. Say that last part again, Andrew. I had a lot to say about that, bro. It was too much.
No, it's really the having the big goal that takes several small steps to get there. And sometimes you'll complete one small step, but you're still looking at the big goal, so it feels like you haven't really accomplished anything. How important is it to really celebrate that small win of completing each task? Like for myself as a content creator, I know that it's going to take hundreds of videos, hundreds of conversations, and all of these different things. And so if I look at each individual video as I haven't reached it yet, oh, the following isn't this big yet, I may stop. But if I look at each video as a win and getting me closer to that goal, it gives me the fuel to keep going. And so I know that applies to every business. My day job, so to speak, I'm an insurance agent, and I actually started my business off knocking on people's doors. And so I'll go out door to door to door and knock and knock and knock for hours and hours on end. A lot of people not home. Half of the people that answer the door don't want to talk to me, right? And so a lot of times I would be extremely discouraged. But one thing that ended up helping me in the long run is I switched my mindset and I stopped focusing on results and I started focusing on activity, right? And that was a huge breakthrough for me because when I started focusing on activity, I would set a number, right? And so instead of me saying, well, I'm going to go out and get 3 sales today, which may or may not happen because I have no control over who I'm going to speak to and what their needs are, I would say, I'm going to talk to 100 people today. And do you know, Leron, that sometimes I would talk to 40 people, right?
Mm-hmm.
And out of that 40 people, I would have exceeded my goal. However, in the other mindset of I need to get 3 sales today, every door that doesn't open, every no that I get, every little bit of rejection, I may have stopped before the 40, and the 4 sales that I got were 36 through 40, if that makes sense, right? And
Yeah.
so it's hard to keep going when you're in that wrong mindset. What do you think about that?
Man, I absolutely agree with that, man. It's all about the way we see a situation, the way that we perceive what is happening, the way that we go about it. As you said, Andrew, your thought process was, you know what? I'm not looking about how many sales, I'm looking at the activity. And that's a powerful statement right there. And I believe that the audience should take that and catch that. It's not about the end result because we have no control over the end result. The only thing that we have control of is so true is our activity. But here's the thing about it. Most of us are not producing enough activity. It's in our consistency. Consistency is the keys that unlocks doors to opportunity. It's about being able to do the same thing many times without getting tired. That's how you succeed. Success is more so doing the same things that are bringing success consistently without getting tired and upgrading if we have to another level. Can I make a statement here real quick, Andrew, if you don't mind?
Sure.
I wanted to give this because you said something before the question that dealt with, how did you say it? It dealt with, I forgot what it was, but I want to make this statement real quick. It was about success. And I have this quote here, and I want to read it to you real quick. It's about what is success. Success is completing your task. Success happens every day you do what you say you're going to do. Success is not a destination, it's the process. That's what success is. It's not a destination, it's the process. So watch this, watch this. That's why it's important that every time that we are going through the process and we're doing what we say we're going to do, that's succeeding. And that's the thing that we have to recognize and give ourselves congratulations for. I was a person who didn't give myself congratulations because I wasn't there. And what that does is it doesn't give you any energy to refuel. When you don't give yourself congratulations, Andrew, it doesn't give you any fuel to refill. So you're going through, and that's when you start getting weary. Like, oh, it's not happening for me. Yes, it is. Because your success is the process, not the destination. The destination is the result of your success.
That's powerful. That's powerful. It really is. It really is because at the end of the day, like you said, those small steps do matter, because if you don't take those small steps, you're not gonna reach the goal. They say a mile is one step at a time, right? You're
Come
not
on.
going to take one big giant step and take care of that whole mile. You have to take each individual step. So this is really good. This is really good. Um, Leave us with a few more tips, because I think that we're at a point now where a lot of people are, right. People are procrastinating out of fear. People are also procrastinating because they fear success and the management of that success. Some people have a fear of gaining and losing, right?
Mm-hmm.
That roller coaster ride of life that we all go through. Especially when we, reach that second and third quarter of our life. Like we teach with Elevating Men, we live our lives in 4 quarters, and so when we reach that second and that third quarter, and we're feeling the clock is running against us, right? You say a lot of things when you're 17, 18, 19. You say, hey, well, I'm 30 years old. I'm going to be this, or I'm going to be that.
Yeah.
Or you size yourself up against other people who are at an age older than you. And you say, that's not going to be me when I get that age. And then you look up and there you are, the same age as that person that you talked about, in a similar or worse position. And so, I believe that as we get older, it's even more important for us to take in these motivational tidbits, for us to really start using different tips and tools and strategies to make sure that we can overcome the inherent um, backlash that happens in our mind from having lived so long without accomplishing our goals. If that makes sense. So I don't know
Yeah.
about you,
Yeah.
but we're not too far apart in age. And you know how it was when you're like 19 or 20, you come right out of high school and you're like, oh, I'm going to take over the world. And then over time, life happens and you start to understand that it's really not as easy as you thought it may be. And so that's where all of these motivational moments and the things that we talk about really come into play. You have to start developing the proper mindset, because now it's not all about energy.
Yeah.
It's really a mental game, at this point. And so
Come
these
on.
things are really important. We're almost at our time to wrap it up. And so I just want to make sure that people really get something out of this. And so if you had any final words or thoughts to give people on procrastination and really pursuing their goals, what do you want people to hear today?
I'll leave you with this, y'all. Make sure that what you're doing is ultimately what you really want to do. Like, really take time with yourself. Don't just say it's what I want to do. I know it's what I want to do. Make sure that you're emotionally connected to that thing. Make sure that it's driven by your heart. Your heart is driven by it. I have to do this thing. When I said discovered I was a speaker and I was going to be a world-renowned motivational speaker internationally in a Hall of Fame, I said, I have to do this. I have no choice. And I gave my life to it. I gave my life to study my craft. I gave my life to get better at it. I stopped making excuses because I knew this is the only thing I had to do. And since it was the only thing I had to do, I had to do it now. You have to do it now. But the only way you're going to know if this is something you have to do now is if this is really something that you have to do. I didn't say something that you want to do. Something that you have to do. Because if you didn't do it, your life's purpose wouldn't be fulfilled. And if that's not it, most likely that's what's going to keep you in procrastination and stuck. Find something that drives you. It has to be more than just the money. It has to be something that pulls your heart. And once it pulls your heart, that's when you'll give your all to it. Because you'll realize if I don't do it, I'm just wasting my life. There has to be, that's what should motivate you. That if I don't do it, I'll be wasting my life. What makes you feel that you'll waste your life if you don't do? That's a very big thing to remember, y'all. Make sure that it's something you want to do. And once you are emotionally attached to it, take your time. As far as don't let anxiety kick in, take your time and then take action.
Love it. Love it. Brother, how can people get in contact with you if they want to follow, connect with you? Do you have any deals or specials going on as it relates to your life coaching or motivational speaking for organizations that may want to have you, come and speak and get their teams fired up?
Absolutely. So check this out. You can follow me on Leron the Motivator. Some of you are already on here right now. If you're not following that page, follow Leron the Motivator. Also join the Balanced Entrepreneur. So what I do is I coach entrepreneurs on how to get over limited beliefs that are limiting them. There are limiting beliefs that are keeping us from making the money that we want to make, keeping our business from growing the way that we want to grow it. There's an image that we have. A limiting belief is a belief that keeps you from taking consistent action. Whatever is keeping you from taking consistent action, that's the belief that is limiting you. So I coach entrepreneurs to get over those things so it can bring success to their business. So if that's you, if you're an entrepreneur, if your business is not where you want it to be, if you're ready to blow this thing up and you know that you are in your own way because you're skilled, you're gifted, you're talented, but it hasn't shown externally when it comes to your bank account and the growth of your business, I want you to reach out to me. I want you to reach out to me and take your life to the next level by taking your mind to the next level. Because your life becomes what you become. And your current life is a result of what you became. So reach out to me and I'll be happy to coach you, and I'll give you a free session to show you what you're going to get to take you out and take you up.
Love it, man. Thank you. And I appreciate that. People, listen, he's offering a wonderful service. This brother is excellent at what he does and everything that he does, whether it's the motivational speaking or the life coaching. And so for a free session, it's something that could absolutely change your life and it doesn't cost you a dime. And so I definitely want you to take advantage of that. It's been scrolling here on the bottom of the screen. And so I want to make sure that you see that one last time. Follow Leron, the Motivator, on Facebook. Also, if you have an organization that is in need of a motivational speaker, whether you have a sales team that you're trying to get fired up, whether it's a religious organization that you want to get your membership riled up, Leron is the person that you want to talk to. And so thanks again for tuning in to our motivational moments. This is something that we do each Sunday so that we can help you set your mindset and your intent for the week to come so that you can have as much success as possible. So go ahead and put it on your calendar. We'll be here again next Sunday, same time, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time for motivational moments. Thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you again next week.